Morning traders, welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. I hope everyone is geared up for the opportunities. Ideally, as you join in, say hello. Okay, so thank you for everyone who's joining in. It's on a Wednesday, and of course, as traders, we will need to seek opportunities, right? But then you must make sure that you've done some fundamental analysis. That means looking at the possible news that could impact your positions, right? So herein we are talking about inflation. Yesterday we had some good inflation numbers coming in from uh, uh, CPI was down 2.3%, and that means that the dollar weakened, and we saw those moves play out. So today we don't have much on the calendar, right? No much economic news. However, there's something for the crypto heads. There's something that played out. Coinbase will be joining the S&P 500. Actually, it's joined, but trading starts on is it May 19th? Yeah, the move will be effective before trading begins on May 19th. Yeah, this is probably a vote of confidence for cryptos that they are joining in the mainstream financial industry, right? So more and more of this playing out. I don't know whether you guys are able to see. There's a certain comment by the mayor of New York, right, where he said that he want his packs to be sent in cryptos, and guys were like laughing at him. But now he's like, who's laughing now after Bitcoin uh, went all the way, right? So that's the high volatile news we're looking at, and as a result of this, share jump adds $8 billion in market value, right? So Coinbase added that amount, right? So opportunities are there. We just need to be on the lookout, make sure that you have enough information. And so without much ado, without any high impact news, we've just seen the deals that Trump has been signing in Saudi Arabia, and the 600 billion, and even the prince was like, we look forward to having these at $1 trillion, right? So that's good for the US. That means more investments for the US, and it goes in line with Trump's policy of America first, right? So he wants jobs to be created in the US, just like China came up with policies that led to the growth of the Chinese economy. That's what Trump wants, right? The growth of the economy, and that means the US gets to retain its superpower reserve. So those are the high volatile maybe things we could be looking at today. Not much from the calendar, not unless some surprise move comes in. Remember, Trump is still in the Middle East. We still have the Ukraine-Russia war still hanging around, and also that deal that was made over the weekend between the US and China, right? Though it has a timeline to it, 3 months, there's still that uncertainty. What happens after those 3 months, right? But then, of course, we'll get there, right? So the safe haven assets, gold, the Japanese yen, the franc, they're still ranging, right? Looking at where the opportunities are. So it's no longer like we're no longer in that uncertainty period, but not so much. There's a percentage to it, right? You wouldn't say like where there was so much uncertainty, no one knew what next. At least deals are being closed, and so that isn't the uncertainty. So let's see how that plays out. Now, once we've done the fundamental analysis, let's join in and let's go to my MT5 and seek do some technical outlook, see where the opportunities are. So if you have any questions, please let me know towards the end. We'll have a session. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so yesterday we had done some analysis on Euro USD. This is for the mentorship class, and you are looking for a possible bull and then bearish and then bull move. This bearish push didn't play out, so we can see Euro USD is going to our target, right? This is an area we had mapped out, and I had pointed out that Euro USD had always there was this gap on Euro USD from Monday, right? This gap had to be closed. And this is what Euro USD is doing. It's going to close that gap. So once it does that, well, then we should probably see opportunities coming in. Right. So let's map out Euro USD afresh and try and seek market opportunities. What are we looking at, right? So last week's high, we want to identify last week's high as a possible area. It's way too above. Okay, so there's an area I would want to see Euro USD come to, and that is this order block over here. You can see this order block. So let's remove this analysis. So I would want to see Euro USD come to this area. That is a possible area of resistance. One. Another one will be this one. Yeah, that's also 1287. That's a possible bullish area where I would want to see Euro USD, and also this one, 1252. So I would want to see how Euro USD reacts to this price level as for a possible short opportunity. Yeah, so let's look at Euro USD testing this area, 1252, and then maybe we can seek some sell opportunities intraday. This is more of intraday. So I'm just mapping out some support areas which could also act as take profit areas. Okay. So maybe we can look at this order block. That one. So if I were to look for opportunities today on Euro USD, I would want to see that bullish move complete to this area, and then maybe we can see some bears coming in for around 60 pips. That's Euro USD. Gold, we wanted to see a bullish push on gold and then a drop. That didn't really play out as expected. So once again, let's remove this one. We could see gold test this area, which is the Asian high, where we could see some sellers stepping in. So if I were to look for opportunities on gold, I'll be looking at that bullish move as a possible play. And once gold gets there, we could probably see some sells coming in. But for now, let's just work with that bullish analysis on gold, right? So if it tests this area, the better. Yeah, if we were to see a bearish move and then a bullish move, that will be a good trade from where I sit. So let's see how gold performs on those price levels. Audi USD, we were looking for buy moves and then a sell. Clearly, the sell didn't play out. Market had three areas we had anticipated. This area, but now clearly that sell didn't play out. The dollar weakened due to that inflation news. So let's have a look at this from higher time frames. There's a high chance Audi USD is going to test the monthly high, right? What is the monthly high? It's the highest price in a month, or better still, last week's high, right? On H4, we can see this high. This is a possible area where Audi USD is coming to, right? So if it gets there, then we should see some sellers coming in, because we know that last week's high is an area with an accumulation of sellers. Yeah. So let's see how that plays out. So the analysis is simple. Looking for a continuation of the bullish move to that price level, and then from there we could see some sellers stepping in. We'll see some sellers stepping in for around 50 pips to the Asian low. Yeah, today's low. So let's see how that plays out. Okay. What else? Let's look at NZD USD. We were also looking for a bullish move and then a sell. That didn't play out. So of course, NZD USD is bullish. Go to higher time frames. Okay, so let's go to H4. Okay, so I would want to see maybe this candle tested 59.95. That's 35 pips, right? This other one is how many pips? 20 pips away. So we all know NZD USD is more volatile than Audi USD, right? So we could probably see NZD USD go to that high. Alternatively, we also have an order block here that is yet to be tested. This one, 59.83, 23 pips away. So this actually will probably go with this one, 59.83 as a possible area where there are sellers. However, if they breach that price, then we could now go to 59.95, which is I think 12 pips away. So once price gets there, we should now see some bears coming in. With the target being the Asian low, today's Asian low. So we want to see a continuation of this bullish move. And then a possible short of 55 pips, right? So NZD USD could also test this high, 59.95. That's a possible area also before bears coming in, right? So let's have a look at that. Those who've been attending our mentorship classes, they know what to look out for, right? We already have those areas working out, but then we need to see those bearish reversal candlestick patterns, right? Those are a final confirmation. So we can see the RSI is headed to the 70 region, which is in line with this bullish move, right? Once it gets here, we should see this order block maybe holding. And the only way we'll know it will have held is if we see on lower time frames on M15, if we see a bearish engulfing, if we see a shooting star if we see an evening star, if we see bearish tweezers. Those are patterns that we would want to see before considering short trades. USD CHF, we were looking for a bullish move and then a drop, right? So the drop is playing out, and USD CHF is coming to close this gap, right? It has this gap, and so the sell is still valid. Let's change this. This is the gap we need to see closed. Yeah, so that sell trade should play out. And let's see, that's a candlestick, that's an area I would want to see. 83.12, that's like 40 pips. Yeah, we expect that 40 pips move. Yeah, so a continuation of the sell, right? This sell move should come in. Once USD CHF gets there, we could probably see some buyers streaming in. Does that mean the dollar will strengthen? Well, let's wait and see. That's a possibility based on the technicals, right? Because we are looking at a bullish dollar later. So we want to see USD CHF test this area and then a possibility of buys. It could also get to spike to this low over here. 82.67. No, that's way too low. So this is the possible area. 83.12. That's why I would want to see some buyers moving in and possibly push USD CHF up to this high, almost 300 pips. Let's see how that plays out. So I'm bearish on USD CHF. And also, if you look at it from the RSI as one of the confirmation tools, price is coming to the 30 region, which could explain this bearish move. And once it gets here, right, could be now this gap has been closed, then we could see some buyers pushing the market up. Okay, GBP USD, what are we looking at? GBP USD was a buy. We had 3 targets here, 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 and so they've all been achieved. So let's go to because we were looking at this gap, right? Remember, we were trading this gap on GBP USD. We wanted this gap to be closed, and clearly that played out pretty well yesterday. So let's remove this analysis. Go to higher time frames, try and understand where GU is going to. GU is most probably headed to last week's high. There, that 402. 48 pips from the current market price, right? That's a possible area where GU is coming to. So I expect to see that bullish play. And then later we could see some bears coming in. So what does that look like? Want to see that bullish play. And then we could see GU drop once it gets there. For around 100 pips. I would want to target this low, the Asian low. Yeah, this is what I would want to target. That's GU, UT100, we were looking for buy opportunities on UT100. This played out pretty well. And let's remove these analyses. We had mapped out the daily chart. This is where we had an order block as a possible take profit target. This bearish order block was a take profit target, and we can see how that trade played to it. So remember, there's something we need to understand. We have gaps on UT100. This one and this one, and these gaps will have to be filled at some point in time. So I'm still not bullish on UT100 Nasdaq because of these gaps. The market will still need to come down, close these gaps. Could it be because we expect some negative news coming in, right? I have no idea, right? We've seen Trump say that European partners are now who they seem to be. It's like an issue. He prefers China at this point in time. Well, this is Trump for us, right? So I don't know how the market will react, but we are in uncertain times. Just take note of the fact that at one point in time, Nasdaq will need to close these gaps before being bullish. When will that be? Well, I don't know. This move played out over a period of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. So all possibilities are on the table. However, that will happen either this month or next month, but these gaps need to be closed before UT100 or Nasdaq can continue on a bullish move. Okay, so let's map out Nasdaq. What are we looking at? Right now, I'll probably be looking for some sell opportunities. Then I need to look at which sellers will lead to that bearish move. Let's see, has this candle been tested? Not yet. So I've identified a possible short area, 21.69, right? I would want to see UT100 get to this area before considering just a short trade for now. Look at it from higher time frames. Yeah, so maybe I would want to see 21.36.9 tested before considering a bearish move, right? So you can see this gap pretty well. You can see the gap here on H4, right? These gaps are quite visible. These gaps will need to be closed at some point in time, right? Just like this gap was closed here, these ones will need to be closed. So those are short opportunities that are calling at some point in time. All right. So be wary if you're bullish on UT100 long term. Be very wary because that move will definitely come into play. Okay. So let's look at these. I would want to see how Nasdaq reacts to this area, and then maybe from there I can look at that sell trade short term. Maybe to the moving average, because I can see some areas of support on the moving average. Yeah, something of the sort. I think that is what I'll be looking at. Or this order block here. That one. So that's what I would want to see on UT 100. I think that's it. Not unless, of course, let me have a look at your questions. What's happening with GBP, JPY? Hi, everyone who's joining in. Uh, Maybe let's have a look at GJ. Do I have it here? I'll have to add it, right? Okay. Looking at GJ, it also has a gap, right? Can you see this gap? This gap needs to be closed. All right. Let me show you. This gap needs to be closed at some point. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, we can see it on H1 quite well. Okay. Yeah, GJ tested last month's high, right? And if you look at it from lower time frames, you can see the close of the candles on that last month's high. These are bearish tweezers, right? We can see bearish tweezers, right? Though not my favorite, I would have preferred them to be the second one to be red. Okay, so interesting. Let's go to lower time frames. Yeah, so GJ looks bearish. Seems like GJ is coming to close this. It's coming to close this gap, right? So that's a high likelihood that we could see a continuation of the sell on GJ. I'm pretty sure what's moving GJ is JPY. Yeah, so we can see a possible head and shoulder pattern here, right? I hope you guys can see this as a possible head and shoulder. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right? So I'll be looking at short opportunities on GJ. Views on Audi CHF. Audi CHF. Let's have a look at that. It also has a gap, right? Whichever way you look at Audi CHF at one point in time, it will have to come down and close this gap. Okay. Let's go. Let's go to the daily. On the weekly, we have another block here. 55.29. Oh, there's even a moving average. So I'll be looking at a bullish move. The 800 EMA is here. So long term, I'll be looking at that bullish move, and then maybe let's see. Let me map out this order block. Let's go to lower time frames. Yeah, maybe a bearish push. Maybe a bearish push and then a bullish one. So I'll probably look for buys from 54.11 for 119 pips. That will be my outlook on Audi CHF. Right, a possible drop to this area or this area 54.04, anywhere around this price level. We could see some buyers stepping in. So a sell to the moving average. Oh, interesting. It's a moving average also on lower time frames. However, on H4, it's an order block, right? This bullish order block. The last bearish candle before a major move up that broke this structure. This higher high has been broken here, right? So we could see Audi CHF we'll probably see that bullish move. So if you are scalping, then probably we'll be looking at 27 pips drop and then a bullish move. Let me see, which is the other question. Okay. Yeah, so Joseph, higher time frames, it's bullish. But then remember, if you look at it, when it gets there to that order block, when we get to that moving average, there's a high chance we could see some sells based on that gap. Of the fundamentals that pushed gold still alive? That is the uncertainty, right? Is there a chance gold could correct, especially on weekly time frame? 2 into 2022, Fed chair talked of fraud on asset prices, yet prices are higher now. Remember, at the end of the day, what led to the prices of gold being that bullish was the attack on Israel, right? If you look at our if you look at gold, we want it, remember we analyzed gold, we're expecting it to come down here before going up. Let's see, look at it from higher time frames. What led to gold being this bullish was this October 7th attack on Israel, right? There was that bullish move, but also gold has a gap. One day this gap will have to close. This one will have to, yeah, eventually gold will come down to this level. So we can see from there gold has been bullish all the way from 2023 October 7th after that attack. It's been playing around on the 50 EMA, 50 EMA, 50 EMA, bouncing on the 50 EMA, right, to where we are now. So I expect the uncertainty is still there, not so much because now we've seen Trump sort out the issue with China, right? But it's short term, right? 3 months. So after 3 months, we are then again in the same cycle. That uncertainty is what the markets don't love, especially big guys who are investing big. And that's why like we can see maybe Bitcoin going all the way. But until that is settled, the uncertainty, once that is done, then that's it. And I think right now it's more of the US and the tariffs. The whole war on Gaza was priced in and everything went it's like nothing is happening, right? That has already been priced in. But these tariff wars is something that needs to be sorted out. Maybe we'll have a clear goal as from August, September, right? The final quarter. Yeah, maybe October, we should have a clear goal. But one day, gold will definitely come down to this price level. It will one day. Any other question? I'm Caleb Akatsa from Rai. I'm always impressed with your teaching. I don't know why I'm blowing account, especially every time, especially when I'm trading gold. You need to make sure that you're trading gold or any other asset based on confirmations. Okay, confirmations are very important, very important. Okay, Euro USD, that is done. And anyone who's been attending, maybe you can get feedback from people who are joining in. Anyone who's in our mentorship class, how's your progress so far? Have you been making any progress? If you're here, please let us know. Right? Let's have someone joining the mentorship class if they're struggling. Okay, UJ. Oh, I didn't analyze UJ. Interesting. I'll have a look at that. Please highlight the importance or lack of it Japan to negotiate forex with US and between forex and tariffs, which has significance to DXY between forex and which has the significance to or Japan economy. Remember, at the end of the day, Japan depends on the US economy so much in terms of exports, right? Look at the cars in Japan. Sorry, the car. It's the US is a huge market for the Japanese economy, right? So that means at one this they are tied to the hip, right? And also they have these economic uh, they have this economic agreement where, like, uh, there are things that US will always come into the rescue, a military agreement with the US. So uh, for Japan to negotiate, yeah, it will be in the best interest. Remember, Japan has always wanted to have a lower yen, and during these uncertain times, everyone is buying the yen. So Japan will always try and lower its yen because that means their exports are cheap, right? So yeah, yeah, I think the UK US deal was not so much a big deal as compared to the US and China. I mean, UK is not the same as it used to be, right? We can all agree on that, right? So China US was more like it, yeah, because we've seen the ports empty in the US. That means there was a problem in terms of supply, right? At some point in time, things will be running out in the US. So Trump had to cow down. He realized that China is playing hardball because it knows the impact. There'll be riots in the US. It was about to get political at some point. Okay, which confirmation is best for candlesticks or lower time frames? Candlesticks will always win in terms of footprint. You want to see the footprint of buyers or sellers. So I don't have much information on this one, Apollo. I'll get back to you. Okay, so thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone who's attending. Laban, you've been attending the mentorship class and you've made progress. Awesome. Yeah, you need to work on your psychology. That's something that everyone needs to work on, right? Me too, man. Me too. Fear, greed, indiscipline, those are things that you have to deal with. And this is why most guys almost resort to both. So just work on it and everything will be well. Otherwise, thank you guys. Let's see how those trades play out. Naomi, I think we've already done Euro USD, right? We saw what we were looking at. We were looking for a bullish move, right? We want price to come to 1252. It's almost been held on this moving average, but then we wanted to get here before looking for short opportunities. Gold, we were looking for a possible bearish move to this order block and then buy. Let's see. Audi USD, we are looking for a bullish move, then sell. NZD USD, a bullish move and then sell. USD CHF, a bearish move. We really want to see this gap closed. GBP USD, a bullish move and then sell. UT 100, a bullish move and then sell. So think that's it. Not unless I've missed something. Cheers, guys. Be fruitful. Oh, sorry, UJ. Sorry. Let's have a look at UJ. Yeah, you can see UJ's. You can see the yen was the one that was responsible for that move on the Japanese on GJ. Right? We can see this bearish push. Once again, gap. Right? We have a gap on UJ. This has to be filled. So there's a high chance this is what price is coming to do, to close this gap. And then interestingly, we have the moving averages, and that could be a possible bearish push. So if I were to look for opportunities, there's also a moving average. I'll probably want to see a little bit of a bullish push and then a bearish push. So look for sell opportunities on UJ to come and close this gap. For you to join the mentorship class, you can send me an email, robert.mbogo@fxpesa.com. Alternatively, below this video, right? Just come to follow this link to learn how to trade on the go. Every Monday to Thursday, there's the FX Pesa morning class, right? So this one is from 11 to 12 p.m., right? This is the mentorship one. And then the evening class, FX Pesa evening, is beginners class, 8 to 9 p.m. Right? Here you get to learn about basics and you're sorted. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for your time. Be bullish.